It gives me a great pleasure and pride to announce that Mayurbhanj Chhau started in Mayurbhanj. It was conceptualized by Maharaj Sri Krishna Chandra Bhanjdev and subsequently followed by Maharaj Sri Ramchandra Bhanjdev, Maharaj Sri Purna Chandra Bhanjdev and Maharaj Sri Pratap Chandra Bhanjdev. This dance form is over 300 years old, and unlike a lot of dance forms which have died their natural deaths in lots of parts of the country, this dance form is still being continued, and it started in the palace of Maharaja of Mayurbhanj, and at that time they had over 200 different forms of dances which were being created, and to create a healthy balance and competition, there were two sahis, they were called, that is the two groups. One was patronized by the Maharaja of Mayurbhanj and one by the Maharani Mayurbhanj, and they had a very healthy competition, and it's really nice that organizations like Project Chhau are taking it forward. And one thing I'd like to add to this is that the good thing is they have tried to keep it as original as possible. They have not added the fusion bit to it, whether it's the music or the artist or the dance steps. They have tried to keep it as original as possible. As Chhau was conceptualized in Mayurbhanj, and over the period, over the decades, the Maharajas tried different variations. A lot of ustads were sent to different parts of India to learn about the different music and art, about the steps and everything. Like so in Chhau today also you will find a lot of steps which are like maybe Kathak related, or the music could be Hindustani music, and during a lot of these dances were conceptualized maybe directly by the Maharajas because they themselves had such a good knowledge about the dance. And for example, there's a war dance which is still being, I think, one of the favorites of Project Chhau, which was conceptualized by Maharaj Sri Ramchandra Bhanjdev, personally conceptualized by him, and it was performed in Calcutta in front of King George V. On our part today, in the present day scenario, we are trying to promote Chhau, as we have opened Belgravia Palace to guests, and we try and encourage whenever the guests want to watch any performance by inviting these artisans to come and perform for these our guests, and that's a small step that we have taken towards promoting it. We also hope that in future, if we can have tie-ups with other heritage hotels in different states, and send our artists to different states over there so that they can perform in different other states also, because a lot of people in India are also not aware of Chhau, as it is not being performed in the big cities everywhere in India. So I would like to forward our best wishes to Project Chhau and to all the artisans and to all the ustads, the musicians and everyone. As we understand, it is really difficult even to maintain the instruments, because these are traditionally made instruments. They cannot be bought off the shelf. And I request all the people who are watching this video to please support the artisans in any which way you can, and even the government, because we take so much pride saying that Chhau belongs to Orissa, but then the government should also take some steps towards promoting this dance form, so that the artists and artisans and the dance form can continue for a long time. On behalf of the royal family of Mayurbhanj, I'd like to congratulate EZCC and Lok Chanda to hold this virtual Chhau program called Chhau Connect in association with Project Chhau.
My association with Mayurbhanj Chhau goes back to 1968, around the time when privy purses were abolished, and a seminar was organized by Sangeet Natak Academy in Bhubaneswar how to uh, save and rejuvenate the Chhau tradition in Baripada. And my father came back and described me that about amazing dancer he had seen, and he told me how he could, unwind on a single leg down, rewinding and then going up, rewind again up, and in a dance he danced as a dandi, and it turned out that he was my guru, Krishna Chandra Naik, uh, when he arrived in Delhi in mid 70s. And in Delhi, I was one of the first few students who joined him to learn Mayurbhanj Chhau. And for about 4 years, I learned very intently with him the entire technique, the repertoire, and I consider my that period as one of the really foundational years of my understanding of the dance world when I took up dance as a profession. Around that time, I also helped Guruji to build one of the first courses on Mayurbhanj Chhau, which was then recognized by the Khairagad University, and then it was offered as a PFA in Delhi. But the style itself is extremely fascinating. It's most unusual, and all the scholars have said it is difficult to categorize it for the simple reason that it is a group art. Very few solos are there, and the structure, there are no mudras. All the language actually emerges from the leg gestures. Then there are these fascinating chalis or fulis which are connected with daily chores of women's life in village, warfare, and animal gates. So there is a fascinating thing which is there, and I'm still, searching what are the possibilities in this style. So my interest is continuing with the style. I'm now planning to set up a Chow center in Delhi, and I had promised my teacher that whatever he had given me, I will carry on in my life with that. I will preserve it, and it's a responsibility that Guruji gave me, and I'm pursuing with his teaching to me and giving it to whatever I can offer to the dance world. Although I focus myself in the area of contemporary dance and choreography, but for me, Mayurbhanj Chhau is of equal love. Thank you.